Well, we have a 2016 Duckworth Navigator Sport 18 foot plus the offshore bracket. This boat, I'm telling you, is the heaviest rigged boat I think that exists. This thing is insane. Let me go with you, go over all the different things that it has with you and give you some insights into that. So we'll start here at the bow. We do have a trailer brakes on the trailer. It does have the breakaway, swing away tongue here. Double wheel jack, those follow a little bit better. It's spare tired. And we have the big bow roller on there as well. The other thing is this is a gateway trailer. These trailers are channeled and welded. So that means you don't have bolts holding it all together everywhere. So you have way less rust and corrosion on the trailer than a normal trailer. So that gateway trailer is awesome for that reason. We've got, as you can see on the bow here, we do have a Minn Kota Ultra. I think this is an 80-pound thrust. Yep, 80-pound 24-volt thrust, 80-pound thrust, 24 volts. Gotta slow down a little bit here. Dual wipers on the boat, so you can see out of both sides. We've got pretty good overall. There are some. This boat has been in the water moored, and so you can see there's a little bit of discoloration on the hull from that. But that's nothing that can't be remedied quite fairly easily. Let's go on to the side here. I did see that's a scrape in the vinyl, but this one right here is actually a slim dent, about that long. It's hard to see, but it's probably just a docking dent where it came into the dock. The trailer has the side guides on it, and those are perfect, nice and tight. These are modified with the bunks on them to make it a little bit tighter, but stationary. The other thing, it has a Fish On Sports tower. So anodized aluminum tower from Fish On Sports out of Michigan. You put them together, they're a pretty awesome one. And this has the tower for the rod storage, as well as it has a Raymarine Radar on top. Coming back a little bit further, we got the boat buckles. Check them out. Push the button here, release. And there's your transom straps off and cleared. LED lighting on the trailer as well. It's getting more and more common. We've got a 9.9 high thrust, long shaft tiller steer on here, but it's also steered by the TR1 Gold right here, and that's inside the unit, so that gives you remote control of this trolling motor, and it's autopilot for the trolling motor too. So this trolling motor will actually steer you and keep you on course, and if you got wind, then it'll correct for the wind and put you back on the course. Pretty awesome setup there. We got a Yamaha 90 for the main power. Push this boat pretty good, probably do about 35 miles an hour with that. The hydraulic steering on the boat, so it's not just cable steer, which is awesome because cable steer put a cable right in the way here. But you got cable steer here and through transom rigged with the vacuum hose through the transom for the kicker and that. And then we have, let's see, here's transducers. Oh yeah, we just passed right by them. We got Scotty downriggers, electric downriggers on here. So those come with it as well. And then on the other side there, we've got the Davit, Crabby Davit, with the Crabby lift on it as well. So it's an electric pot puller for a Crabby Davit there. So pulling your crab pots out, that's awesome for doing that. I think that's pretty much everything on the outside of the boat. That's pretty much it, I think. So we can go on to the inside of the boat, and then we're gonna put this out on the lake here, and we're gonna run it and see how everything operates when it's wet. Alrighty? Okay. There's so many little details on this boat. I hope I don't miss anything because this boat's got so much going on. So we have downrigger the downrigger plugs here, and then we also have plugs here if you have electric reels. So the same ones, the downrigger plugs are there and up front, and so you have additional, so you can plug in multiple areas. The other thing this boat has is, well, there's two more main things that this boat has. This has a few fishing rod holders, but I thought it was rigged in here, but it's not. It's down here. Yep. So this has got a 3-bank charger on it. No, sorry. This has got a 2-bank charger for the main batteries. This is the TR1 here. And then it also has the electrical hooked up here because it has another charger up front for the bow mount. But if you plug this in right here, you plug in your power right there, then that excites both chargers. It turns on both chargers and charges the bow mount trolling motor bank, and it charges the main batteries too, both all on individual chargers, but they're split chargers. So there's 2 chargers in there, 2-bank chargers. So there's a total of 4 batteries on this boat. Okay, looking down in the bilge here, battery switch is right here, so you can get into the battery switch there. We've got down here, we've got our seacock, so we can shut off the water if a hose broke or something, so we can shut that off. Primers for both, fuel water separator inside there. You can see the bilge plugs kind of in the back. It's pretty dark to see, but there's a bilge plug. And then right here you can see it says Ultrasonic Anti-Fouling. And what that is called a hole shield. And what that does is that puts a little vibration through the hole when you have it in the water to keep growth from growing on the bottom of this boat. So when you put it in the lake or something, then anything that would normally grow on there doesn't grow as good because it has that vibration going through the hole. And it has one mounted up front and one in the back here. So that's called the hole shield. As we already talked about, you got a Crabby Davit here, a radar and rod holders up here. As you saw in the bottom, I don't know, it's pretty dark, but there's a washdown pump on here. So that guy right here. So now you can hose down things on the boat. So that's all on a water pump there, and you can clean the deck off of the boat here if you got it. And that's sucking water out of the lake and putting it through this hose. Get the pressure out of it. You can lay that up in here. Let's put it down here while I'm showing you. Okay, moving along here. Check out these Helm Seats. These things are phenomenal. Okay, big armchairs, new, upgraded thick foam on there, and they're sitting on top of WPS's HydroShock 7 suspension seats. So when you're flying along in the chop, you just sit here and glide in the air while the boat's bouncing up and down, and you just glide it out. It's pretty rad. It makes it actually kind of fun to drive because you're sitting there like you're not feeling it, and so it just makes you want to pound the waves a little bit harder. I put them in a boat and I really enjoyed them before. And then they have the swivels without the locks. A lot of people are like, well, that's crazy. No, you can lock yourself in with your legs or hold on, but being able to flip around to get in and out of the seat, that's important, and that's what you get with that. Let's open the front up here. You can see here there's some battery banks for the Minn Kota, and we'll check that out here in a few. That's where they sit at. We've got some M4 fish box, storage box. There's our other ultrasonic hole shield. And looks like we got a couple of remotes here. There's the iPilot for the Minn Kota, and here's the TR1 controller here for the trolling motor, for the gas-powered trolling motor. So we've got both of those remotes. Integrated side control on here. Let's see what we've got for hours. Fire that off. Looks like we have 285.1 hours. 285.1. So that's pretty sweet. Not really high hours. Pretty decent hours on there. Looks like for there we got fuel gauge, we got our voltage, we got our miles per hour, and we got RPM gauge all rigged in here. A lot of these things too, these extras are all brand new. Like this Garmin is brand new. I don't know if it's on a switch or not. And this is, I know, 1 year old. because it was installed at Breen Marine here. And that's the Raymarine there for the radar. There you go, yeah, and it has a fish finder too on both of them. It's kind of a different frequency. This one's a much better one here on the Garmin for the fish finder. But we're out of the water. I mean, we're just barely in the water, so it probably won't work real great. Again, hydraulic steering on this. Access up to the bow up there, but we don't need access with that Ultera because that's a auto deploy. That's an auto deploy trolling motor there. I'll get that out when we get in the water. So let's push this motor or boat out and get the motor. Let's get the motor started here. So this is fire off. It hasn't been started for a while. Oops, there we go. Fires up. Should fire right off. It's the EFI. So we're sounding good. Looks like the trolling motor does too. It has 151.7 hours on the trolling motor. So 151.7 on the trolling motor, has a little gauge on the front there. I think that's it for a minute. Holy cow, I got so many things to remember on this boat that have been done to it. It's rigged up. All right, so let's pull this boat off the trailer and get the truck out of the way. On the radar here, we're at home here, and then you can use this little arrow here to go where you want. If you want to go to charts, or if we're going to go to the radar because that's specifically what it is. And then it looks like, so you can see these are on transmit or off. It's on standby right now. So what we're going to do is move this over to transmit, hit OK, and then we'll see what she does. Okay, there we go. I'm going to zoom it out, which is probably this negative, but no, I'm already zoomed out. I'm going to zoom in. And then we're gonna let it transmit here. So it's showing the lake here. As you can see, we're out in the middle here. There's, if you look right ahead, there's the, zoom a little more, move out a little bit more. There's the land right there. It looks like we got a few different little things. This is a buoy here. This is a boat over here. You can see him on there. So we've got that. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see it. Okay. Yeah, man, that's amazing. Radar's so cool. So you see this little guy over here in this kayak. He's right there, sitting out in the kayak. You barely see him there. Very good. And you can see shore. Man, that's pretty good. Okay, and then we've got our fish finder over here. Look at the resolution on this thing. It's got such high resolution. This is the Garmin, I think it's a 943 XSV is what the model is on it. And man, this thing is a nice sonar multifunction display. Not a lot underneath us here. Side view on it. Oh, that's awesome. And then just traditional. There you go. And then if we go home, we've got kind of those charts. It's got Navi charts on it there. Very nice. We're in a lake that usually doesn't have much charts on it, so this has got pretty good charts on it for ocean and inland too. So it's got the charts there showing us in the lake. All right, so those things pretty simple to use. We've got our port wiper there, good. And our starboard wiper, good. Horns, good. Nav lights, can't tell if they're good because they're bilge pump, hear it going off, that's good. These are all accessories, aren't used. Okay, perfect. So while we're going here, I'm gonna see if we can't fire off the trolling motor here. Uh-oh, I think the batteries are dead. Oh, there we go. You just have to turn the power on. This motor's stowed. If I want to deploy it, I have to push that twice. Whoa! That's so cool. There we go. And now I can steer it. Put it on, and then we're good. Put it on number 2. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna flip our direction here. Boom. And we start turning. Flip it the other way. And we go that way. If I want to go a little bit more, I think this goes to 10. Whoa, that's scooting. So what you can do on this is you can get a heading. Like right now we're pointed right down the middle of the lake, so I'm going to get the heading. I'm going to hit this little north button. Okay? And so now that right there is going to hold us on course. All right, so if I've got wind blowing and whatnot, then that is going to say, oh look, see, I'm not using hands, you can see the thing steering it. It's going to take us right down the middle of the lake here. So I can use the trolling motor to control us when we're trolling. If you notice, the kicker motor could be on too. I've got the main motor on right now, but you could have the kicker motor on, use it for the thrust, but use the bow mount to actually steer you. Or turn both motors off and just use the bow mount trolling motor. But in the wind, these boats can be a pain to deal with. But with that bow mount, it'll just hold the bow pointed direct where it needs to go. So this is an awesome little option for this boat, this trolling motor. All right, let's go ahead and start up the trolling motor right now. We still have the main one running, but it's not in gear. We're just moving under the electric trolling motor now. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this down here, bring the tiller arm down, and then I've got it by the tiller here. We've got our lanyard here, our start's right there, our choke is right there, so we're gonna pull the choke, start that up. I could pump the bulb. I'm gonna try it without pumping the bulb first, just choking it. Oh, and give it some throttle. Okay, there we go, it fired up good. Choke. There we go. Looks like that was an easy start. You set it here on the setting right there. That's a little bit higher than idle on it right there. So let this go ahead and go. And then we'll try a little experiment here. Okay, now we're down to idle. I'm gonna go ahead and shift it into gear. Now it's into gear. Get a little bit of throttle. It's a little cold there. Okay. It does have a tensioner too here, so I can tension it up a little bit, but it also does have that TR1 too. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in gear there. Now if you notice, that's pushing us in gear. This is trolling. That's just a little bit fast for a troll. The main motor could be off or on, doesn't matter. Right now it's not in gear. But say we're out here and we're trolling along. Well, that motor is going to be pushing us all over the place. So what's happening right now is that bow mount is using its autopilot to maintain our position. Okay, now we don't have a lot of boats out here or anything, and so there's a lot of times when there's not, even if there were a few boats out here, but there's nothing out here right now. But if you can only imagine how nice it is to have nothing to worry about while you're trying to get out fishing. And that's one of those scenarios that you really don't understand until you have it. When you're sitting back there on the tiller, you might think, this is no big deal, I can steer this. Yeah, try tying on a lure at the same time that you're sitting there trying to keep the boat from going in circles while you have another rod out and you're trying to keep that line trolling straight. This gives you a perfectly straight troll, and I haven't touched the steering wheel for a long time. We've got the kicker motor started and running, and that bow mount is just taking this boat and putting it right down that course that I set for it. So you can run all the way down the lake and do all kinds of stuff like that. Go ahead and fire off that TR1 on the trolling motor. This is a corded control here. So we're gonna go ahead and turn that on. To be honest with you, I don't even know how to work these. Go. We'll see if it starts going now here. It might be on an accessory switch, I don't know if it is. It's got throttle up and down, steering. At this point, I haven't figured out how to use it. I don't even know. I mean, it's there. I don't even know why you'd use it except for the throttle maybe. But the bow mount does a better job of steering you because it's on the front. The kicker has to sit there and do all kinds of back and forth to maintain the direction, whereas this can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the wheel here, put the boat into a spin, and watch that bow mount motor pull us right back onto the line. So you can't even trick this thing. I mean, it just does its thing. And like I said, the batteries will run all day because the kicker motor's running. So the kicker motor is adding all the thrust. The bow mount, it can speed up and slow down as it needs to, but it just goes on its course. I could slow it all the way down.